Hello and welcome to Le Film Geeks, where we cover movie news, shows, and reviews. My name is Ari A.
I'm Nate Elias.
And today we're going to be reviewing the much anticipated blockbuster hit of the week, Avengers Age of Ultron. Then we move on to the Batman vs. Superman trailer. Now, Nate, Avengers, 27.6 million opening night, beats the former Avengers by 9 million. We actually showed up 3 hours early to the show, and there were still more people outside than there were robots inside of the movie.
Oh, definitely. I kind of forced you to stay over there for 3 hours, but thank you for that.
Hey, that was a good call. We had to show up early.
Yeah, and I tell you, maybe 10 million of the numbers were at our theater?
You dragged me into a 3D movie, and I didn't regret it. I thought I was going to regret it, but I didn't.
No, I don't think you did. And there's a lot of CGI in it, but it's needed. And for Ultron, at least, I know they put the actor James Spader into the mod suit with all the little tinkles and tassels on him, but they needed that because it looked really good on him, and it was very seamless. I wasn't really distracted by it too much. I mean, they put it on the Hulk too, so it looked awesome.
Right, even after about 10 minutes into the movie, I even forgot about the fact that it was 3D. Usually it's the other way around, so that was pretty interesting to see. But a lot of people will complain about the fact that the beats were the same as the previous movie, and they were. You know, you have this power that the government is trying to control that turns against them, and subsequently the Avengers have to come in to clean up the mess. You have a scene with Bruce Banner freaking out. You have Natalie Portman still absent, so those are the usuals. And you can't have an Avengers movie without a pep talk monologue from Nick Fury just to get the oxytocin rolling for the Avengers, and still no shawarmas.
No shawarmas. Shawarma. There's no shawarmas here today. But yeah, no, you do get a lot of the same beats, and that was one of the negatives I had for the film, is that, in the first one, what do you see them do? They face wave after wave of these aliens, and it doesn't seem like there's a lot of challenge for them. It seems like they fight these waves and then they get tired, and that's where the challenge comes from, is them being too tired. I wish there was a little more Ultron to kind of beat down on them. I know it's only one villain and there's like 6 of them, but still, they need a little more challenge. I feel like that was one of the issues I had.
They can't really have one antagonist where all the Avengers are beating on one bad guy. They have to have hordes and hordes of these Terminators. So of course, Avengers against Terminators again, it seems like a repeat, but they have to do that. They have to have them besieged from all sides. That's kind of like a traditional thing that we're used to with the Avengers. But moving forward with the Civil War, I think that's when a lot of things are going to change. We're going to finally have, people with superpowers versus people with superpowers. That's when it's going to get really exciting, where each of them has a polarity, has an antagonist. Each of the superheroes have their own. So for right now, I think he did a good job. So what did you think about Ultron's character? For me, he moved a little too fast. He wasn't established well enough. It was just a couple of seconds, and all of a sudden, you have Ultron.
I kind of agree with that. Ultron, I feel like they had a really good thing going in the beginning. They were establishing him really well. He was kind of a complex character. One of the best kind of villains is a villain that doesn't think he's the villain. He's the guy that, he thinks he's doing the good.
Very sarcastic too. He's a pretty sarcastic antagonist too.
Tony Stark built him. You can't have a Tony Stark machine without a little bit of sarcasm.
Oh, absolutely.
So yeah, no, he's really smart. And I love the back and forth that Ultron had with Stark there when they were going toe to toe. But yeah, no, I really liked him as a character. I just didn't like that he once again, instead of enlisting at least one other guy, he enlists these hordes of little nothings, little putty that the Avengers can just throw around. And, that was it. Although he did mind meld them a little bit with the Scarlet Witch, which I enjoyed those.
Well,
sure.
That wasn't even him, that was Scarlet Witch. So perhaps maybe Ultron and the Vision are the two sides of Tony Stark? Oh, maybe that's a metaphor.
Oh, the Vision. Yeah, that's
the
a whole
Vision,
other
definitely,
character.
that's a part of him. So let's talk about the Vision.
Yeah.
It's also Jarvis. So what did you think?
Well,
that was pretty unique. Now Jarvis is alive.
One of the things that made Ultron so menacing in the beginning is the fact that he shows up and automatically murders Jarvis almost. And the fact that Tony Stark is able to take what is very little left of Jarvis and put him into this body after they hijack it from Ultron, put him into this robot body and make him an actual being who is smarter and better all around than Ultron. That's really the only guy that Ultron is afraid of, is the Vision because he's just that much better than him.
Well, Jarvis was smarter than him from the get-go. We
Oh, yeah.
thought that the Ultron had taken over him real quick and destroyed him, but we find out through Stark that he was actually just hiding himself from him.
Yeah.
He was just underneath. So I guess Jarvis was smarter than Ultron after all. But yeah, to see him embodied into Vision, that was pretty interesting. So the creation of Vision was a concoction. There was two chefs involved.
Yeah.
One was Ultron, who did the first half, creating the body, and then
There's three.
there was three. Go ahead. Oh, and
Yeah.
Bruce Banner, of course,
Bruce
was
Banner
also
gets
involved.
in the mix, gets a little chef hat on there too.
That's right.
But yeah, no, the body was made by Ultron for himself, and I like that the team kind of stole that from him and made Vision out of it. That
That's
was awesome. One of the things, another thing I have that's wrong with the Ultron is that he was too easily taken out. I mean, all it took was to take the little metal out of his heart and
Right.
finish him, which
Yeah.
I didn't care for. I felt, was a powerful villain that they could have at least lasted a little bit longer than a movie. That's all I'm saying. I don't think he should have been done at the end of the movie, for sure.
Well, they're going to be going into Civil War, so they're going to have new characters involved. So I can see why they wanted to tie that end loose. Another little side note that I liked about it is where he got the vibranium from.
Oh, the claw.
Wakanda. Oh, and the
Wakanda
claw.
and the claw,
Yeah, and the Wakanda.
The
So-
claw had the vibranium.
Right.
That's for sure.
And I love how these movies thread together the future movies that are about to come. We talk a little bit about Wakanda, so we got the Black Panther hints going on there, and then we got the Claw. So that's
Yeah,
pretty
I like how
interesting.
they don't really name the claw. He's just kind of the guy there that the Ultron needs the vibranium from. But then the fact that I think they actually
They
do
had
name him.
some sort of a name.
I can't remember his name
I
right
forgot
now.
as well.
So, but anyways, no, I like the fact that he actually, does a little something. We're not going to get too spoiler here, but does a little something that enables that character to become the Claw later on, which I liked.
All right, so we're going to see him in what movie next? What do you think?
Ooh, the Claw?
Yeah.
Yeah, the Claw. I think he'll be maybe mentioned in Civil War. I don't know if we'll see him in there. It would be awesome to see him in there. But the Black Panther spin-off movie, for sure.
Oh, that's going to be, yeah, he's
Oh,
definitely,
it's
Andy
definitely
Serkis
coming.
will definitely be in that movie, that's for sure. Absolutely, that was great. So let's talk a little bit about Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch. What did you think
Yeah.
about them?
You know what? The Russian accents, a little bit not too keen on.
Purshinia Devushka.
Yeah, well, if they sounded that good, maybe they'd be better.
Oh,
but,
there we go.
yeah.
We can just dub it for him, I guess.
No, I wasn't a big fan of their accents. And, what's funny is that in the X-Men Days of Future Past, you had a scene with Quicksilver, played by the different actor, but still Evan Peters. But he had one little scene in there, and it kind of stole the movie. I wish they did the same for Quicksilver in this one. He has a whole storyline here, but he's kind of washed over with the rest of the crew. There's like 6 or 7 guys to go through, so he gets barely any time. Not a really big scene stealer. Maybe a couple of chuckles. You're supposed to laugh. I didn't really laugh. But yeah, I was kind of disappointed in what they did with him, for sure.
It seemed like they pretty much had him there so they can kill him. Now, he's a great actor, of course, but I don't think the two of them were established. Again, just like Ultron, I believe they were rushed into the whole storyline. Now, unless you're a fan of Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., then you get a little bit more backstory, some hints implied there, especially the last episode of the show that hint applies, connects a little bit to Avengers Age of Ultron, so I found that very interesting. So if you don't watch Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., do watch them. This is pretty interesting.
I'm one of the people that don't watch Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. And so this guy's telling me all the time, watch it, watch it. I'm sorry, I haven't been around to it yet. But I like Scarlet Witch, actually, in this movie. Scarlet Witch, she had what little she had to do. I think they established well. And the fact that she's going to be the next kind of crew, the next
Oh, that's right.
next
She's part of the
incarnation
new
of
yeah.
the Avengers.
The
little-
skeleton crew.
The
if you
B
will.
crew. Yeah, the B crew.
crew.
So I really like that. The fact she used her powers pretty well, I feel like. Quicksilver had maybe 1 or 2 scenes where he's using his powers. But the power that Scarlet Witch showed off after that awesome little speech Hawkeye gave her, going outside, she tore it up.
Oh, she did.
And I
she
really liked
redeemed
it.
himself in that scene.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Oh,
And speaking
definitely.
of Hawkeye, so Joss seemed to try to fool us, try to make us think that Hawkeye is the one that's going to be killed, and of course, some of us knew that it was going to be Quicksilver. But I like how the mirror effect, the polarities, how they're laying next to each other, and the connections between that.
Yeah, they kind of connected there. I
They
really liked
connected.
that.
He made it obvious that, hey, I knew you guys were expecting Hawkeye to die. So having that deeper story with Hawkeye, connecting us more with his character, I thought that to be very effective. Do you think they're doing that because Hawkeye's going to get his own movie?
You know, I hope so. Me being one of the fans of Hawkeye, I feel like with the little rumblings that the audiences or the fans have said, there's not too much of Hawkeye in the first Avengers. He was kind of really glossed over there. A lot of people were upset about that, which is one of the reasons why they added Hawkeye to it a little more here. Gave it a little in-depth information on his family, stuff he does outside of the Avengers, which I really liked. All the little beats he had was really awesome. The scene in the forest was really cool. The interaction he had with Quicksilver, that's kind of like what I liked out of Quicksilver, was the little interaction he had with Hawkeye.
It was nice. I think, I don't know, him having his own movie would be like Bourne Ultimatum with arrows, but
that's what he's about.
That's what he's about. So I think if they maybe connect them with one other character, Scarlet, maybe, as a duo, I think that might work in a movie.
They actually did have a little scene where they were tag teamed up there for a second.
Oh, that's right.
They dominated the little square there, which I really liked too.
Well, that was the last character that Scarlet was kind of warming up to in the last movie. She always has her favorite in every Avenger movie. Hey, but you can't blame her. She's surrounded by the strongest men in the universe.
Oh, I was talking about Scarlet Witch, but Scarlett Johansson.
Oh, Scarlett Johansson. That's Scarlet Witch.
Yeah, no, Scarlet Witch and Hawkeye had a cool scene. Where
they
were tag
did.
teaming.
Absolutely.
But if you want to talk about the tag team between the Black Widow and the Hulk, that is going to be a good team because she can calm him down pretty well, can't she?
For now, yeah, she seems to be able to calm him down pretty well. She's very interested. She's very open to it as well. So she's not hiding her emotions anymore. And but he takes off at the end. Where does he go? Where does he take off to?
Well, hopefully, what a lot of fans are speculating about is that he's going to Planet Hulk. Hopefully, like there's this whole storyline where he goes off into space, kind of because he's afraid of what happens at the end, where he attacks. He turns to the Hulk, and families and kids actually see him hulking out and getting angry, so people are scared of him. And he has nowhere to hide, nowhere to go.
Oh, so that's why they established that.
He mentioned that where he has nowhere to go, nowhere to hide, so why not to space?
Do you think he has enough gas in that plane to make it to
Well,
Hulk?
that's what happened, right? Like at the end, Sam Jackson said, or Nick Fury said, oh, we found a ship crash landed over here
landed somewhere
in the side. So I don't know where he went, but I'm hoping it's a little bit intergalactic. But I really like the fact that Scarlett Johansson is the one that calms down the Hulk. Because, from the comics and from the TV shows and everything else, the Hulk gets calmed down from Betty. That's like his lady, the one that's able to calm down the Hulk when he gets upset. And I like that they gave it to Scarlett because Black Widow is a character that everybody knows. Betty's was used in one movie, never brought up again.
Right.
Liv Tyler, where are you? But anyways, it's nice having Black Widow do it.
All right. I was really hoping for a slight darker version this time around, but of course it's a Disney movie, so they can't go too far with it. But what it seemed like from the trailers that Joss was going to get a little bit darker. I really wish that they might have, prolonged or kind of made the killing of Quicksilver a bit more dramatic. That might have added some to it, but there are kids watching, so of course they gotta.
Yeah, but you're right. I mean, even though as much as I like Hawkeye and how much I'm down for more Hawkeye in the Avengers series, please. But but. It would have been a heart wrencher, I think, if you had killed off Hawkeye instead of Quicksilver. There wasn't enough Quicksilver in the movie for me to feel really bad for him when he died, and that was the only problem I think with that death. It would have been more gravitas for sure having Hawkeye.
It was
go away.
safe. It was a safe kill.
Yeah.
So, what were some hints towards a Civil War movie?
Not too many in this movie, and that was one of the things I was hoping there was more of. I really was hoping for more of that. No, the only thing that really was Tony Stark and Captain America getting in a little tiff. Steve Rogers,
a little contention.
Yeah, a few times there was a time.
Right.
Captain America going against Iron Man with the suit, with the whole vision, attacking him there. But the real fight is at Hawkeye's place when they're cutting wood.
That's
and they're arguing about morals.
That's right.
And everything like that. That is really the seeds planted in the Civil War, which we're going to get into.
And they also, for Thor, there was that fountain scene, which only ties into the Thor story. So there was definitely some hints implied there towards other movies that are going to be coming out. And Thor 3 is going to pick up right where Avengers left off. But the next one, the storyline will. Yeah. And it's going to be parallel with the new Captain America movie. But Ant-Man's going to be next.
Ant-Man's next. But to go back to Thor for a second, Thor is going to be our link between Thanos and Earth. In his visions, he sees the 6 Infinity Stones, which are what causes the Infinite Wars, which we're going to be getting into soon. So he's really our connection there. I think through Thor, we're going to be able to see the Guardians of the Galaxy meet the Avengers and stuff like that. But to get into Civil War more, Infinite Wars is a few years away. So to get into the Civil War coming up, Ant-Man is going to be the big movie to introduce us, open the door to Civil War, for sure.
I'm just excited to see the corollary, the mirror effect of what's going to be going on with the Captain America movie, the next one, and what's taking place on Earth. The turmoil that's taking place on Earth is going to parallel what's going on with the rest of the universe with Thor. So that's going to be interesting to see. They're both kind of taking place at the same time. But yes, the next one will be Ant-Man. So I'm excited for that one too.
You know, the new trailer that came out looked actually really good.
And we'll cover that in our podcast.
We will cover that at a later time. But it really needed, the Ant-Man really needed a good trailer because the movie was very low hyped. Everybody was about the Age of Ultron. Now that that's over, I'm hoping that Disney really pumps on Ant-Man.
Yes.
Because it is the doorway to Civil War. So it needs to have a big backing so that way people can go see it. Because I feel like it's going to be good. The trailer was really good.
Originally, you know, Ant-Man was supposed to create Ultron, so...
Yeah,
you know.
I know. That's a whole different Ant-Man though,
You're going to
too.
take something away from him, you got to give something back. And the last part, I was really hoping that there was going to be 2 teaser scenes at the end of the trailers, at the end of the movie, kind of like Captain America, but they only gave us 1.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Joss.
Oh, Joss, yeah. Well, you know, hey, we got a good one. It was Thanos.
It was good.
It was Thanos.
Hey.
You got the glove.
That's
you
right.
got the infinite stones. You're ready to go. Infinite gems, I mean. But yeah, no, I really wish there was a little hint of my boy Peter Parker coming into town because, you know.
Well, they still haven't, well, I think they're still casting him, right?
Yeah, no, they don't need to show the actor.
Put him
They
in a
can
mask.
CGI somebody in a suit.
Right.
So, you know,
Hey.
you can definitely do that.
I'll volunteer
CGI
for
me,
that.
yeah. Call me, please. I'm down.
So yeah, no extra teasers at the end, but hey, we'll settle for contemplating on how the Guardians of the Galaxy and the Avengers are going to be getting together to stop Thanos. All right, so let's move on to Batman versus Superman trailer. Let's go ahead and cover that. Or was there anything else that we're missing?
We got to rate the movie.
Oh, we got to rate the movie.
Rate
That's
Ultron.
right. Go ahead. What was your rating?
You know what? I'm going to give it a solid out of 5 stars. That's what we do here. I'm going to give it a solid 4. 4 stars. I thought it was really good. It improved a little bit on the first movie, especially with the ensemble cast and how they interact with everybody. I still don't like the fact that we're fighting horde after horde, wave after wave. Not a fan of that. I hope that they can change that, and they will with the following movies coming up. But yeah, solid 4. I think, you know, it needed a little bit of improvement on the villain, and just don't do the same beats you did before. Other than that, that's why I really loved it. Give it a 4.
I mean, it's so difficult to juggle all of these different elements for the writer, and director Joss. But I think he did a great job. It was an entertaining movie. No one can say it wasn't entertaining. It was very close. He did, adhere to his previous recipe. But for what it was entertaining. I give it a 3.5.
Before we get off the subject, I will say that go early and watch the trailers. It is worth it for just the trailers alone.
Absolutely. Yeah, Star Wars 7. That was one of the reasons we went.
Don't even get me started on Star Wars. But yeah, no, the Star Wars trailer, the Batman trailer, I mean, the Tomorrowland previews, we get it all. Go early if you're
that
gonna see
looks
it.
great.
Anyways, let's move on.
Let's move on. All right. So then we move on to the Batman versus Superman trailer. Nathaniel. Yes, we open up to this nice backdrop of where are we? Are we in Gotham or we in?
It might be Gotham. Might be more likely to be Metropolis.
Well, it's Chicago.
Yeah, well, they filmed in Chicago, yes, but that was definitely not in Chicago. It looked a little more CGI than Chicago.
It is, just slightly.
But yeah, no, I think it might be Metropolis. I mean, that's where Superman Kal-El is at. That's where he's reigning. So yeah, and I love the shot too. The little slow zoom in. The voices you hear over.
Absolutely. They captured the time and space of the scene really well. I mean, it's darker, it's grittier. I love the color palettes, and then the hint of blood. The hint of red. So you got the red on Superman's chest. You have the red on the building over his left shoulder, and we have another hint implied from Batman saying, "Do you bleed?"
Loved it. Love the fact that they're writing false god and nobody really believes in Superman. Because if you watch the last one, The Man of Steel, the events at the end of the movie didn't leave Superman in a good light. He was destroying, probably killed, I don't know how many people.
Superman and Zod, it was pretty much like a nuclear bomb had gone off. I don't know how many casualties they have. And do you think on those pillars they have the name of the people that died that day? That would be interesting, kind of like a memorial.
It would be, but it's a little weird because it's a Superman statue. I don't know why they would have a Superman statue with names of people on the side, because that's just kind of like, hey, look what good Superman did, but wait a minute, he killed all those people on the side.
Well,
So,
it
I
seems
don't
like the
know.
people are split on that, right? Half the
Yeah.
people think that he's a god and he came down to save them, and you have like one of his arms is up to the sky and one on the ground. So that could be a metaphor for a god that's came down to our levels to help us. And then the other half who don't like him. Well, somebody gave him an army, somebody gave him a police force. So obviously, perhaps maybe the government is on his side and the people are uprising.
Well, at the end of Man of Steel, he did have the government backing him.
When he shoots down the drone, yeah.
Yeah, he had a couple of the military backing him there, and I don't know what happened in between that time. I think it's like a couple year span in between the time of Man of Steel and then, but I think it is an uprising of the people, and I love the fact that the Lex Luthor here, the villain of Superman, looks like he's going to be the man of the people. He's going to rise out of the ashes and say, hey, I'm going to clean up this town, because there's a whole quote in there when they're all talking saying that
Oh, the voiceovers.
the voiceovers that you hear Lex.
Okay, so we have Charlie LaRose, we have Holly Hunter, we have Jeremy Irons, we have Jesse Eisenberg, and of course we have Neil Tyson, which I think is a pretty good move to have him in the movie, because he's kind of like the science celebrity of our time. So for having him in the movie kind of puts a authenticity stamp on the contrived world of the movie.
Well, yeah, we know his take on aliens and the outside world, so
Right.
yeah, of course. No, Jesse Eisenberg is the voice of Lex Luthor here, and I love hearing his voice saying that, devils didn't come from the ground, they come from the sky.
Do you
And
think
get the shot of
he's going to make a
Superman.
good antagonist?
Definitely. A lot of people are kind of worried about Jesse Eisenberg in the way, because when you look at Lex Luthor in the comics and in pictures, he's not a little scrawny kid. And Jesse Eisenberg has the take of a little scrawny kid. But the way they're going about it as a man of people to rise up, look what he did with Social Network.
Right, that's true. Hey, he did a great
he's
job
the same
in that.
kind of guy, kind of stand up for a team.
Well, he's a great actor, so I'm sure he's going to step up his game, especially for this. I mean, this is kind of like the Super Bowl for an actor to be in a Batman versus Superman movie. So do you think Batman's going to win, or do you think Superman's going to win? Okay, Batman's suit looks amazing. The suit looks a lot better than the previous movie. But I don't know if it's still going to protect him from Superman. I mean, this is Superman.
Well, no, that's his regular Batman suit, but the bulked up robot suit.
He has
at
like
the
a
end there,
Hulkbuster version.
Yeah, the Batman suit there at the end is boom. Yeah, he's ready to go. No, he's got a whole robot suit. He's got some stuff in there that I'm not going to tell you. He's got a bunch of Batman, a bunch of gadgets everywhere.
Right.
So
and I think
look
Ben
out.
Affleck fills out the suit a lot better than.
Yeah, after the shot of the pillar and the false god, we see a shot of Superman with the militia, with the Superman Corps. I don't know what they are. That looks intriguing. But then you get the best shot, I think, of the trailer, which is the close-up shot of Ben Affleck. You get a little close in. You get Jeremy Irons' voice, who is Alfred, telling
right.
him that, or I don't know who he's talking to, but yeah, they think it's Bruce, where he's saying that, power, the powerlessness of man brings out the rage. And just let him, you see him, he's kind of trembling. He's kind of like
Contemplating.
shaking
Yeah, he's
Ben
contemplating
Affleck.
if he should.
No, I don't think he's contemplating. I think he's feeling good. He's getting that anger again, that vigor to be Batman. Because in this, he's already been Batman. It's not like the introduction of Batman again.
Right.
He's been Batman for a while.
Right.
So this is him being like, I get to put on the suit again. And like getting excited and anger again.
What do you think the reason is that he's put his suit away? Because it seems like he's put it away and he's contemplating whether or not he should put it back on, obviously with what took place with Superman and what happened to the city there. Catch us up.
Yeah, no, and Man of Steel, the beginning of the movie, when you see Metropolis and Superman comes in, doesn't look like there's a lot of trouble. Looks like Superman brings the trouble with Zod, and these guys are going to come in and destroy the world.
He inherits the beef. It wasn't really his fault. There wasn't much he could do.
Yeah, but I feel that because of that, that's why Batman put away the cape and cowl. There's been no trouble. There really hasn't, besides the regular stuff that's been going on, until this alien comes in from another world and brings its destruction and chaos with all these other villains. Who knows who else can come out from the space now to hunt down this alien.
Well, hopefully next time Superman would at least ask him to step outside in the outer orbit or on Moon. They did go outside for a little bit with Zod, but only to grab the International Space Station, set it on fire, and bring it down with them into the city. So I don't know. Superman watching over humans, kind of like a bull watching over a china shop at this point. And hey, Batman's coming in to regulate.
But hey, yeah, look out!
Look out!
If you liked Christian Bale as Batman,
I don't know.
I think.
Yeah, Christian Bale was good. I think Christian Bale made a better Batman in a suit, but and then Ben Affleck makes a better
Let's not go into impersonations of that voice. All right, the Christian Bale Batman voice is one of the worst things I've ever heard. But and you know what? I kind of just put that in the back of my mind when you watch those movies because he looks so awesome in the suit.
He does.
But I think for myself, Christian Bale was a better Bruce Wayne than he was a Batman. I feel like he had the Playboy. He had the Playboy down. But when he's in that cape and cowl, that voice he had on, the little lisp that he had, it wasn't good. This time, it looks like Ben Affleck's gonna fill the suit, maybe even break it a little bit. He's pretty bulked up here, and I think he would take out Christian Bale's Batman for sure. And I don't think Superman's gonna have that easy of a time taking out Batman for sure.
So do you think he's gonna just bust out of his suit like
cast the Rock out of the cast?
Yeah, the Rock out of the cast.
Oh man, yeah, he could. And like I said, I think Superman's in trouble
Take
here.
the gloves down. All right, let's go. Well, I mean, and you can tell Superman is agitated with Batman. That scene, the way he comes down in the rain, I mean, he could have just floated down real easy. But I think that sign is kind of like a show of, strength. Like
it's man versus alien,
right?
And that's what's going to happen here.
And we hear that in one of the trailers in the IMAX theater version, they had an extra clip with them running into each other.
The classic, classic Clash of the Titans there.
Right.
But yeah, now the movie is called Dawn of Justice, so this won't end up being Batman beating up Superman and calling it like we hate
at some point they're gonna have to end up at a congruent line.
Yeah. And I'm really intrigued, and we all have theories on how that's going to go. I hope the theories are correct in what they're doing, where Batman and Lex Luthor kind of team up for a little bit and try to beat Superman and realize, oh, wait a minute, Batman at least realizes, maybe I'm fighting on the wrong side here. Right. And then they team up and get the Justice League going.
Because
let's do that.
Lex Luthor is the one that gets Batman probably to come to the city, right? Maybe he's invited by him, and maybe he's, given wrong information about Superman. Maybe he has a bad perspective.
I don't think he's given wrong information. He's given the exact information. Now, Zod and Superman destroyed Metropolis and killed millions of people, or not millions, but thousands of people. And I feel like Lex Luthor is pretty much a billionaire almost. So he's going to come in with his money and be like, I will rebuild this city for you and help me out. And I think he enlists the aid of Bruce Wayne, because since he's another billionaire who's going to come in and help clean up the city. And then actually say, hey, wait a minute, I don't like this guy floating up in the sky. And get a little tiff with him.
What I find interesting is that in the storyline, Superman is depicted as the antagonist and Batman as a savior. But it seems like in symbology, it's Superman that's the god and Batman is the devil.
DC is already said they're going to be darker than the Marvel universe. So there is no comedy. When you watch Man of Steel, it's a deadly serious movie. And Superman's always the Boy Scout. He's always the guy who is going to be, Mr. I'll do right. This time he's a lot more broody this time around. And no, I think Batman's going to be the one having a problem with him. And I think Superman's going to be like, all right, dude, you're pushing me too much. Let's battle.
Right.
But yeah.
All right. So I don't know. I think it would be nice to see a slight darker version of Superman in this one.
This Batman's definitely going to be scary.
Oh, this Batman is definitely scary.
He's going to be dark.
His suit is
It's the Batman that I've been waiting for. I think we're going to get a more detective Batman,
right?
A more darker toned Batman, a little more angry, for sure. So I'm excited.
All right, and we have this scene with Batman in Mexico surrounded by...
Superman, you mean?
Superman in Mexico, sorry. I get those two mixed. No, but it's, I don't know, it was nice to see him surrounded by those dead faces, kind of resembling how, death is coming for him, or the darkness is coming for him.
That's the Bat.
That's the Bat. The Bat's coming for him. Did you want to add anything else on that before we move on?
I really liked the trailer,
and
it got me really excited. The only problem is it came out along the time of another little trailer named Star Wars.
Right.
So it kind of got overshadowed big time. So yeah, no, I was really excited over it.
Battle of the trailers there for a second. So what do you rate it, Nate? What do you rate it?
Oh, rating the trailer. Rating the trailer 5 out of 5 for excitement.
5 out of 5?
For excitement, for storyline, who knows? Zack Snyder isn't really known for his story. He's a big visual guy.
Right.
You're going to have a lot of bang and clash and a lot of lovely fights to look at. I'm just hoping the storyline's where it's at, and that's going to be the main issue, I think.
Well, I think Snyder is big on story because he's writing a storyline for Justice League, so I hope he's good at stories. It was great. It built up the anticipation. It held the attention. I think they did a great job with it. I'm super excited to see it, so I give it a 4.5.
There you go.
All right. That about wraps it up for us. So we reviewed the Avengers Age of Ultron. We reviewed the Batman vs. Superman trailer.
Yeah, follow us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, and subscribe to us on YouTube at The Film Geeks. We'll be there. We'll have more in-depth conversations of Game of Thrones, maybe more in-depth on Avengers, maybe, hopefully. But yeah, we have a lot more videos that we're going to be putting up. And this is our first time in the studio. I want to thank everybody involved. And yeah, I'm Nate Elias.
I'm Ari A, and if you like anything you enjoy, you will love our other videos. So please subscribe and follow us. Thank you so much for being here.
Don't be afraid to give us any comments or any feedback.
Absolutely.
Let us know what you guys want to hear, what we should review, what we should talk about. And once again, we're the Film Geeks. Thank you very much, guys.
Have a lovely day.
Enjoy movies.